Welcome to the Iron and Intention podcast, where strength meets purpose. I'm your host, Tommy, and today we're kicking off a brand new year, and I'm so excited. We're going to kick it off with a conversation that really matters, and that's how to stop that endless cycle of failed resolutions and start living with intention. If you've ever said, hey, new year, new me, you're not alone. Lots of folks have. And lots of folks have experienced the same thing you've experienced, and that's new year, new me, January 1st, 2nd, 3rd, and next thing you know, by the 4th, it's the same old you. Let's face it, it happens to lots and lots of folks. I would venture to say that probably most. Here's the truth. It's not about having more goals. You can write those down, and it's really important, and we'll talk about some of those things in later episodes, but the goals are not what's important. It's about building intention and consistency. That's what's important. It's about knowing exactly what we need to do and being intentional about it. And so that's exactly what we're going to talk about today and in lots of episodes to come. So let's be real. Resolutions often fail because they're built on hype. They're built on new year, new me, that all sounds good, but they're not built on habits. We set big goals without a plan. I'm going to lose 50 pounds this year. I'm going to get in shape. And we don't ever make a plan, and there's no accountability. And we don't have the mindset to sustain those actions or goals. If you think about it, if you're saying, hey, I want to get fit, it's great. I'm proud of you. Welcome to the club. I'm still trying to get fit. But what happens when your life gets busy? What happens whenever you have to work overtime? Something's going on. You had to stay late. You have to come in and fill in a shift, a watch. What happens when you have to take the kids to school or pick them up and it's not planned? Without intention, those goals, they'll fade, and they'll fade fast. Intention means knowing your why. Why does this matter to you? Hey, I want to get fit. Why do you want to get fit? What is driving you to get fit? That's where you start getting into building intention. Your why is the what on what is worth fighting for when things get really hard. And when you develop your why, it makes the consistency. It makes your training plan. It makes your nutrition plan. It makes all of that so much more consistent. Going to the gym is not about perfection. It's not about having the best cardio every time you're in there, although it's what you want to shoot for. But let's face it, as busy professionals, we don't often have the time that we would like to have. Time that a lot of, professional athletes and advanced athletes have. Every workout doesn't have to be perfect. There's days where I go to the gym, and before I leave the house, I am doing everything I can to talk myself into going. Because that little part of my mind wants to just sit down, watch TV, and chill out. And I did that for a lot of years. You never reach that transformation. But it's not about being perfect in every situation, and every gym session, every cardio session, every run, every time you take your bike out on a trail. It's not about that at all. It's about consistency. It's about intentionality. Showing up even when you don't feel like it. That's where the magic happens. If you can't create that, it's going to be hard for you to live intentionally. So, just briefly, I want to touch on, what does living with intention look like? It's not just about fitness. It's about your whole life, really. It's, it's defining that purpose, as we said. What's your why? What matters to you the most? I've heard people say, I'd die for my children. Well, I challenge you. Would you live for them? Would you spend the time taking care of yourself to make sure that you can live longer and a more productive, healthy life. Your why is so important. It's so important in every aspect of your life, whatever your purpose is. And as we get further along in these episodes, we will really kind of drill down into some of this. It's about your nutrition. What are you putting in your body? What fuels your body for energy, for your strength? Really, you can train all you want. You can lift weights. You can run a lot, but you can't hide from a poor diet. And so we'll bring in some folks in later episodes that will talk about what that nutrition should look like for you. Um, Physical fitness is not about getting big muscles, although that's an aspect of it, and sometimes gaining more muscularity and more size and strength is a side effect of physical fitness. Being able to run longer, sustain more cardiovascular activities, but it's physical fitness is about moving with purpose. It's about every day getting out there and doing something, whether it's going for a 30-minute walk, it's going to the gym, it's getting on the treadmill, it's hitting the heavy bag. But what it's not about is punishment. There's no need for you to get in there and punish your body, because if you continually punish your body's going to react poorly. And quite honestly, a lot of people will get sore, and then they'll quit because it just hurts too much. Move with purpose, not punishment. It's about mental wellness. Oftentimes we neglect that portion of our lives, and we'll have a whole several episodes that are going to be on mental wellness, on meditation, on mindset. So we'll talk pretty heavily about that, but it's about building resilience and clarity. Without resilience, without clarity of purpose, you're never going to meet those goals. You're never going to live intentionally. And it's about leadership. And whether you're in a leadership role at your place of employment, that's not what I'm talking about. It's about being able to lead yourself. It's about leading yourself first, then others. For years as a leader, I didn't take care of my body. And so I think that after some of my transformation, I'm more suited and better positioned to be a better servant leader than maybe I had in the past. And so really, you got to spend some time for yourself. It sounds selfish, but look, if you can't show up for yourself, how are you going to show up for others? It's much like those of us in the emergency services. You can run with your lights and sirens, and you can go as fast as you want. But if you crash on the way there, you're not going to help. And so if your goal is to get fit, and you never take any intentional steps, and you never define your purpose, you're not going to lead yourself into a longer life, a healthier life, better quality of life. You have to have that leadership of yourself. You have to spend some time taking care of you. When you combine all these things, you create a disciplined life. You're confident and you're unstoppable. So I created this podcast as part of my business as a public speaker, as a health and wellness coach, and as a certified personal trainer. And I created it for a group that I'm very passionate about, and that's first responders, veterans, frontline medical professionals, and really anybody who wants to live life with intention. It's for anyone who really wants to level up. I'll have a lot of guests on here that are practitioners in the first responder fields, fire, EMS, paramedics, law enforcement, corrections officers. I'll also have some veterans on here, some nursing professionals, some frontline medical professionals. We'll talk to all of them, and we'll also have some business people that will be able to offer a perspective that may be a little bit different than mine and other first responders. But they'll be able to offer perspectives on living intentionally and what they do daily to help them level up their lives. So if you're tired of drifting through the year, if you want to take control, if you want to level up, man, you're in the right place. So So I look forward to working with each of you and being able to bring everyone some good information. But here's the deal. Starting this month, January 2026, we're diving deep into all of this. Every episode is going to give you some practical tools, and there'll be real conversations with real people. And it'll help you to build the motivation, the consistency, and the intentionality that you need to build a life where strength meets purpose. We'll try to share some links here shortly on how you can subscribe to this podcast, where some of it's going to be found, some of our social media pages, and we're in the process of finishing up our web page. So it's pretty exciting stuff here in 2026. But let's make this the year that we all rise up above those old patterns and build intentionality, consistency, and discipline. Until next time, I want you to remember this: iron sharpens iron, and intention shapes your life. Thanks for listening to the Iron Intention podcast. I'll see you on the next episode.